This is going to be a very interesting episode today. If you think that you have put a lot of effort into your branding, if you feel like there is nothing that you can see that is a problem in your business, but yet you know that you want something different, you might want more clients, you might feel frustrated, or you might want to go in a different direction, this episode is for you. I had Tamara reach out to me, and when she reached out to me for an audit, I initially thought straight away, hang on a second, why would this woman need my help? Because when you look at her brand, she has got great colors. She's got great words on the first part of her website. Her LinkedIn bio is fantastic. She's got fantastic photos on her website. She looks warm, she looks inviting, and she makes it clear that she knows what she's doing. But then I started to delve a little bit deeper and I started to see exactly what was going on. So this is an episode for anyone, doesn't matter what business you're in. If you feel like there's just something that you cannot pinpoint that is going wrong in your business and you just want more. Tamara's in a situation where she's got clients. That's not her problem. She's been around for a long time. She's been rebranding herself. She's also getting clients, but she wants more of the right clients. And she wants to get into public speaking. She's released a book. And she's in a situation where she just needs to tweak a couple of things. So I really wanted to create this video because I think it can help a lot of people understand just those small tweaks that can make a huge difference. Tamara's been in business for over 25 years, and I think that the one thing I can say about her brand is that she is trying to do too much. And I can tell you, I've been through this myself in the past, and most clients I work with had the same issue. And it is that we try to catch everyone and we try to help everyone. Usually the reason why we try to do that is because we know that we're able to. And then we try to do too much inside our business. I was just speaking to a client, a new one-on-one mentoring client yesterday, about exactly the same problem. Our very first session was exactly the same issue. My client had been through, she's been in business for many, many years. She's in fitness and she's trying to catch everyone. And she said to me, oh, I can capture men, I can capture women, I can capture young people, older people. And once we got straight into the core of her business, what I found was in her situation, she can really help women who have had children get better at their fitness, get more consistent, and get stronger. And that is what I'm finding here with Tamara as well. Tamara's in a situation where, yes, she can help everyone. That is not a question. It's definitely a situation where she can help everyone. But what we can actually see is that she is also confusing the situation by trying to help everyone. So she talks about the chief everything officer, but I think the thing is she is a chief everything officer as well, because she is trying to help everyone with every part of their business. I love to keep these videos as short as possible, and so I'm going to give 3 tips that I think Tamara could use to change everything about her business. But anyone listening, I think these 3 tips can work for most people in their businesses. Remember that Coco Chanel saying where she says, before you walk out the door, take one thing off? I think that can work in Tamara's favor as well. And also, I think most people have this problem. Pick one job for your homepage. In the situation of Tamara's website, she has got Rapid Fix, Fixie Intensive, speaking, podcast guest, book, free chapters. There's all sorts of things going on. And I would turn around and say, just pick one of those things for the homepage. Now, that's the main priority. Of course, at the bottom, you can have some menu items. At the top, you can have menu items. But just pick one feature that you want people to understand. She also has there on the page, you can see that at the top here, it says, download the 7 signs of a chief everything officer. That is a great position to have a quiz there, that what is the one thing that you're doing wrong in your business? And it could be an actual quiz, because I think the thing that most people don't understand is that they understand something's going wrong, but they don't understand what that is. So telling them the 7 signs might still keep them confused. By saying that there's a quiz to help you find that one thing or the one main thing is so relevant, and also makes it really easy for people. So if it was me, and this was my website, I would bring everything back to find the one thing that is slowing down your business. Find the one sign that you could change in your business to make a huge difference. Here, stuck, frustrated, or overwhelmed, discover why and how to fix it. That could be the quiz. Now, down here further on, she mentions the rapid fix. Give me one problem and I'll tell you what's actually broken and how to fix it. That I would make into the actual quiz. So let's find that one problem and let's fix that one problem. So it would be a quiz. You would find that one problem that the person has, and then it would lead into, now you need the rapid fix. Work with me to actually fix that one problem. And that is the way I would run the website. And of course, you would still have the book available on a different page. You would have information about being a speaker. Those things can still be there, but not as the main goal on that one page. The second thing, make the problems that she fixes more concrete. So she talks about, it's really fantastic IP branding, that she talks about being the chief everything officer and become the chief enjoyment officer. I think everyone wants that these days. I think we're moving away from trying to make more money. We're moving towards a situation of becoming more fulfilled in life. So Tamara's branding there is fantastic. It's spot on. But the problem is that there's a lot of things that are competing there. So what she needs to explain is, what is that expensive problem underneath all of these symptoms? So, for example, your business can't grow because everything still depends on you. And that, especially being the chief everything officer, is usually the problem. So how do we get that overwhelm of being the dependent person in your business down to being in a situation where less of everyday life in your business relies on you, and she can word that in a way that works for her. So really bringing everything down into the real problem, one problem, and into one solution. So Tamara makes it clear that she can help people find all these problems and fix them. But it would be really good if she had a case study or a testimonial that's very clear, because testimonials, a lot of the time, this is where I tell my clients, when you get testimonials, ask people to put certain things into a testimonial to explain certain areas. So I never tell my clients what to write in their testimonials, but what I do say is, when you're writing about your testimonial or when you're doing a video about your testimonial, can you specifically explain this? And then I tell them what to explain. And I ask them to put it into their own words. But I might say, either explain this part because I know that there was a certain area that we got really good results, or I might say to them, can you specifically talk about these particular words? And for example, I'll say, can you mention the results that you got from the Genius Zone audit? And then they go into that. Because if you just say to someone, can you give me a testimonial? It can become too broad, and that person might turn around and say, oh, you are the most wonderful person in the world, and I loved working with you, and you made me feel so good, and I will love to work with you again. That's a great testimonial because it's very positive, but it's not being specific enough. So I would want Tamara to make sure that she has a lot more specific testimonials. Now, if you cannot get that, or you've already got a lot of testimonials, I had this with a client the other day. She's already gotten testimonials from her clients, and now she's in a situation where her testimonials are too broad and we need to hone them in. So what I would recommend is that you put some little sort of case studies on your website, and it could go alongside the testimonial, or you can take out parts of your testimonial. So for example, if someone said, Tamara was excellent to work with, you could leave that line in, and then next to it you could have something, for example, a little note, and it could say something like, she thought she needed more staff. Tamara discovered she actually needed XYZ. Here's what happened. And then like a little, we moved her from this to this. And it could be a little mini case study. And what happens there is it's very specific. It goes from the problem to the solution. And then you could have alongside that the person's testimonial. So it's not that you have to get new testimonials. It's not that your testimonials that you already have are the problem, But in the future, try to get more specific testimonials, and the ones that you have, try to turn them into little mini case studies. And so then they can sit alongside the actual testimonial that you have. So to finish up, I don't think Tamara has a branding problem. I think it is the 20/80 problem that I think most women have. So I think it's such an easy fix, because it's easier to take things away from your website than it is to try to add things that don't exist. And that's why I love working with people who have been in business for a long time, that have got a really good expertise, that have been around for a long time. Because what I find with women like that is that they're not having to guess what they can do or make up things. It's usually the fact that we have to take things away. So while that might seem a little bit daunting and overwhelming of, oh, if I take things away, then I might be missing out on clients. But then what happens is when you can get more specific about what you do and be more direct, you'll actually get more of the right clients. And think about your own situation. How many times have you been to a website? Or I used this analogy the other day, and it's a really good one. So if you needed to have a party dress and you were going to a wedding and you needed to have a dress and you couldn't wear black and you couldn't wear white and you had to wear something that was quite cocktail inspired, and you were walking down the high street and there was a shop that said, we sell everything. And then there was another shop that says, we sell dresses. And then there was another shop that said, we sell cocktail dresses for wedding guests. And you were busy and you had to go into a shop and find a dress immediately. Which of those three shops would you go into? Would you go into the one that said, we sell everything? Would you go into the one that says, we sell dresses? Or would you go into the one that specifically says, we sell wedding guest dresses that are for elegant cocktail parties? You would go into that store, because that is the one that is selling the dresses that are most specific to what you need. Now, that becomes a clear message. And if you think of that in your own business, then you are more likely to find people that say, aha, this person is actually going to help me in my business and actually going to solve my particular problem. So if you would like help auditing your genius, then please reach out. There's a link in the description, and I'm more than happy to do an analogy of your website, of your branding, and have a look at what you could be doing to make a difference to get more clients that you love. And I'm more than happy to have you as a guest, and we can talk through this as well. And by going through it together, we can go even deeper and find the solution together and get you in a situation where you're concentrating on 20% of your business that brings you 80% of your revenue and all of your joy as well. So reach out to me. I'd love to hear from you. And if you want more information, I do have a Audit Your Genius bot. There's information in the description where you can go through and audit your own genius. And then you can find out exactly what could make a big difference in your business. So there's a video here that I think that you will love that can give you more information about auditing your own genius zone.